Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel, World of Angel 88, or simply Angel, your fave bug. As you can read from the title, I am doing a living life with chronic illness question and answer. I went to my Instagram and put up a question board and asked people to ask me questions that they have for people who live with chronic illness. And then I text some of my close friends and family members because I'm not ashamed of my chronic illness and I have no problem discussing it, but that's just not something I open up about a lot. So I know that my friends probably had a lot. I ain't gonna say probably. I have 3 pages full of questions because I record on my phone, and of course they sent questions to my phone. So I got questions via text message, and I got a few questions off of Instagram, from not the people I contacted, but people who genuinely had questions. So I won't do a long intro. I have some clips of me going to the doctor and a really short clip of when I was sick this previous week. So I'm going to include that. And then right after you see that, I'm going to go straight into the questions. Another day, another doctor. Another day, another doctor. Hey y'all, so this video is just very raw and uncut, and this is just a life with chronic illness. I had a doctor's appointment today. What's today? The 3rd one this week. I got one more this week. I was supposed to get my surgery date, but I didn't get my surgery date, but I did get 2 new medicines. So that now puts me at all of these. I have my water so that I can take my medicines for the night. So I'm going to be getting that together while I'm talking to y'all real quick. But I felt the need to kind of come in and give a pre-explanation of an upcoming vlog, because I think it is important to show life with chronic illness, because people don't believe you sick sometimes. Like, I know previously when I was sick and had been in and out the hospital, folks were really surprised to know, like, Angel, you're that, like, you sick like that? But Angel's sick like this quite often, and it's quite upsetting. Some days are better than others. I'm not gonna act like I'm just down and out all the time, but like today is a rough day. Like, I have been in pain majority of the day. My back has been hurting a lot. Been really nauseated. Just has not been a good day for me. Went to the doctor because of how complicated the surgery is going to be, because they have to do surgery on both kidneys, not just one kidney. So it's got to be one kidney, then take a break, and then come back for another kidney. I'm sorry. It was just frustrating. And then to think of all the time I have to take off work, making sure I have vacation time to take off of work all the time, the healing process, making sure that I have enough money to cover my bills. And for anybody, comments down below, I have Aflac supplemental insurance as well. But if it's a scheduled surgery, you do know they look at that as a pre-existing condition. You can file a claim, but that does not mean that they will pay for it. So it's just, complicated. But I'm going to take my 4 pills for tonight. So I usually take, because I have one that's an as-needed pain pill. So I usually take 4 or 5 pills at night. I take all 6 of my pills in the morning. But one of the pills of my 6, you take 2 in the morning, 1 in the evening. So, yeah. I don't have much of an appetite, but I am not supposed to take this medicine on an empty stomach. So I am about to eat some cereal, and I'm going to call it a night. So, see y'all when I see y'all. Okay, so as you saw my medicine and me at the doctor, in a normal week, I go to the doctor either weekly or bi-weekly, depending on how that appointment goes. So, in that particular week, I had 3 appointments in 1 week. Like, I went to my primary doctor, then I went to my specialist, and then I had to go back to my primary doctor. So, let me get into the questions before we get into all of that. So, what is chronic illness? Chronic illness is a disease, illness, or disorder that does not have a cure or remedy. Some people call it an invisible disease because a lot of chronic illnesses are internal. You do not know that the person is dealing with them. So a lot of us who have chronic illness can apply for disability or get a handicap sticker, but from the outside looking in, you look at us like, what they need that for? What am I diagnosed with? I am diagnosed with a diverticulitis, which is a digestive tract disorder, which means I simply have little pouches on the digestive tract. So things like strawberries, kiwi, popcorn, the little seeds can get caught in that, and it causes infection, or it can become inflamed. It causes bloating, causes a lot of stomach concerns and issues. I also am diagnosed with asthma, and I have severe asthma. I have an inhaler, and I do breathing treatments. If you notice in some of my videos, I sound real nasally or I'm wheezing. I have severe asthma, severe chronic asthma. I'm also diagnosed with depression. I have been diagnosed with depression for years. It's depression. And then I have a form of chronic kidney disease in which my body retains the nutrition that it needs, and it forms it into kidney stones, which causes me to have to be in severe pain, and the stones cause blockage in my kidneys, which later entails me having to have surgery for removal because my stones become too big. And so yes, so those are my diagnoses. So I'm diagnosed with diverticulitis, asthma, chronic kidney disease, and depression. Okay? So, I told you what chronic illness is. Do you sacrifice your discomfort for pleasure? So, in that question, the person and I were talking about the fact that I'm married. And if I'm having stomach pains or back pains because of my kidneys, do I sacrifice my discomfort to do my wifely duties? Yes and no. My husband is very understanding. Very, very understanding, and he gets it. So he does not want me putting myself in any more pain than I am naturally in. So, yeah. The next question I got, and I'm just reading my questions in the order they were coming to me. So they sound in out of order, but I didn't put them in any order. How they came to my phone is how I wrote them down. Would you sacrifice your health to be a professional? This came with the fact that people who know me know I'm very passionate about my work, my job, my professionalism, how I carry myself, things like that. And a big thing that a lot of my friends get on me about, and a lot of my family, is, Angel, you don't feel good, you should stay home. And my thing is, I don't have the PTO, or I don't have the sick leave, or I have clients who I have scheduled to see me today. So, would you sacrifice your health to be a professional? I don't necessarily believe I'm sacrificing my health. I will say I push myself a little bit harder than I should sometimes, though. But I wouldn't say I sacrifice my health. Let me also put this out here. Some of these questions, like when I came to my phone, that made me teary-eyed. So I have my tissue here, but I do not plan to cry, you guys. So let's do that. How has life been for you currently with the coronavirus and being vulnerable partially due to your chronic illness? Uh, it hasn't been too hard. I go to work, I come home, I already naturally have to wash my hands a lot and things like that. So, although I'm one of the high risk people in society for it, I'm avoiding anxiety and stressing about it because that will cause more damage than anything. So, currently, I'm okay with everything. What would you say to someone who has been recently diagnosed with a chronic illness? It's not your death sentence. Like when the doctor tells you, hey, such and such, you have been diagnosed with diverticulitis, that does not mean you are dying sooner than you were going to naturally die anyway. That does not mean stop living your life because you have this diagnosis. For me, it meant now I understand why I'm in constant pain. Now I understand why this and this and this is going on. So don't think it is your death sentence. Don't think that people won't support you. Because that was my biggest thing. I was like, I'm going to lose so many friends because people aren't going to understand. That's not the case. At least it wasn't for me. How do you cope with challenges? I'm emotional. And I had a therapist for years. So I'm working on getting a new therapist because I'm in a new state. But I use therapy. I am very vocal when things are not, when I don't feel well. I like to color. I do have a lot of adult coloring books. I color a lot. And because a lot of times I'm cooped in the house and things like that, I started to write more. I used to write, but I started to write more. And that's really all I'm doing currently for my coping. Are you a part of any support groups? I am not. Have you ever experienced being judged by others who are unaware of your illness and your symptoms? All the time. Unfortunately, I'm the flaky friend. Because you may say, Angel, let's do this. Or I may make plans and say, oh, I want to do this in 2 weeks. But when that day comes, I might be vomiting. Or I can't get out the bed because my back is killing me. Or I exerted all my energy for 8 hours at work to be a good employee. So I'm exhausted by the time I get home. And to some people who, and I don't want to say it's friendship because my friends are very understanding. People I'm associating with, people I'm getting to know. So for them, I'm flaky, you know? So people, you're lazy or you always flaky. And sometimes you just don't want to tell everybody your business. Sometimes you don't want to say, hey, I take all these medicines every day, so the side effects are affecting me. You just, either you for me or you not. Cost. So with my current insurance, to go see my primary doctor is $15 copay. To go see my specialist is a $50 copay. I'm doing that weekly. My medications are ranging from, I'm looking at them, so that's why I'm sorry. My medications are ranging from, I think my cheapest one is $4 at Walmart. And my most expensive one is $68. And I'm filling those monthly. So I range between right at almost $180 a month on my medicine with insurance. We won't talk about without insurance. So it can be costly. Because even when I pay my copays and stuff, I still get bills for stuff my insurance just don't cover, like certain x-rays, CAT scans, stuff like that. What support can spouses give? Understand, listen, and be there. I currently go to all my doctor's appointments alone. Just because once I talk about it at the doctor, I don't want to talk about it in the car and then turn around and talk about it again at home over dinner and then talk about it again right before I go to the next appointment. Like that becomes draining and that becomes overwhelming. So I'd rather talk about it with the doctor at the doctor's office, process it in the car, process it at home a little bit by myself. Talk to John about it a little bit at home, or just talk to him about it at home, and then go from that. But the constant, for Angel, the constant talking just wears on me. It drains me. But for some people, they might just want the support. For some people, they might just want the be there for me and understand me and love me. And it depends on what you want from your spouse. And for me, I need understanding, space when I need space, and for you to be there when I need you to be there. How do you manage your marriage through chronic illness? It ain't easy. It's not. It's been plenty of times where I have laid in bed hurting, crying, just going through the motions and been like, I should just be single. I shouldn't have to put another individual through this. And I should, oh God. I shouldn't have to put somebody else through this, and he shouldn't have to sacrifice so much to be with me. But that's a part of marriage. Marriage is sacrifice, and marriage is love and caring and understanding, and you are your own worst enemy. And so a lot of times John does not have an issue, but in my head I have made an issue. So it's hard sometimes to manage your marriage and chronic illness, but when you have a strong spouse, it helps. It helps. Your biggest challenge: not having children. That has been my biggest challenge. Okay. What does your family support look like for you? I have one of the most amazing families in the world. One of the most amazing families in the world. When I had my last set of surgeries back in 2015, my mother drove up from Texas to Alabama overnight. Spent a week. My grandma came. At that time, she was living in Virginia. She flew down from Virginia to Alabama and stayed with me for a week. I have an auntie who's a doctor. She, like, anytime the doctor would come in the room, John would call her on the phone. So, and she's a doctor, so she's being a doctor to other people. But she always made time to listen to what the doctor was saying, ask the questions that we had no idea what to ask, to make sure that everything was being done correctly. Like, I have amazing aunts, amazing uncles. I couldn't imagine without my family. I have the greatest family in the world. How does chronic illness affect you having kids? Well, John and I have had several miscarriages, and I don't want to say that it's chronic illness affecting me having children. I will say that it's medication. Because a lot of the medications that I can take that will relieve a lot of pain should not be taken during pregnancy. So that also means it should not be taken during the time of trying to conceive. So a lot of times I am not on medication because I want to conceive, but I'm in chronic pain, so I'm not able to conceive. And then I'm suffering both ways around. Like, I get medicine and it's doing the job, but there's another medicine that definitely could be doing the job and they know will work, but it doesn't work good with that. So preferably, we will conceive, and then I maybe have a baby, and then I can get on the medicine that I know will work full force to give me some type of relief. Does what you eat affect the way you feel? Yes. So like I said, I have diverticulitis. And with diverticulitis, it has small pouches on your digestive tract. And so anything with small seeds, strawberries, kiwi, popcorn, the kernels in the popcorn, stuff like that, they can get caught in the small pouches on my digestive tract, y'all know what I'm trying to say. And it can cause infection, it can inflame it, causes really bad bloating, stomach cramps, vomiting, all of the above. I personally love fruit. Love fruit, could live off fruit. I try my hardest to not eat the things that could cause me harm frequently. Like I bought my frozen fruit and it has kiwi in it, it has strawberry in it. Well, I also can pick through that and take out the strawberries. I can take out the kiwi. So I can get the juice of it, but I don't have to get the fruit of it. And that's, unfortunate because I really do like this. And then sometimes I do just eat the strawberries and be like, let me take a pain pill. But I really want to eat strawberries right now. I really want kiwi. Another thing is right now I have kidney stones and they are made of the uric acid in my body. Well, uric acid is in meat and some medications and stuff. It's in meat, but mainly in red meat, beef, and pork. So I am now eating no red meat, no pork at all, and I only am eating meat 1 meal a day. So it's either turkey or chicken, and I really don't eat that much turkey because turkey's high in sodium, and my blood pressure tends to be a concern because I'm in pain, and usually when you're in pain, your blood pressure gets high, and all this other kind of stuff. So I only eat meat 1 meal a day, and it's mainly chicken. And then some days I just don't eat no meat at all. It just depends on how I feel. But yes, chronic illness affects the way I eat. What does a day in the life of you look like? So I wake up, and how I stretch tells me if it's going to be a painful day or a non-painful day. Usually I stretch just in bed. And if I'm catching muscle spasms as soon as I wake up, I know that it's going to be a day full of pain. I catch Charlie horses quite often. My stomach does this like pulsating thing with my muscles. So I know that that's a day that I'm probably going to have a lot of stomach issues. But I stretch and then I get up, I brush my teeth, I take my medicine. So I take my medicine before I put any food on my stomach. And then I eat something. I try to put like something small, like a piece of bread or something on my stomach just so I can get to work. So or if it's the weekend, I eat more. But on a weekday, I try to just, eat a piece of bread, take my medicine, eat the bread, drink some water, get dressed, get to work. And then that's when I'll eat my fruit or my muffin or whatever my breakfast of choice for that day is. And then I go through my day as needed. And then I have a set of pills I take in the evening time. So depending on if it's a doctor day, I'm usually sitting in a doctor anywhere between 2 hours to 5 hours. So if it's a day, and I try to go to the doctors the same days. So it might be every Tuesday or every Monday. Like I just try to be consistent with that. So they really do get a 7-day status of what's been going on with me. So a day in my life is it's not normal because of course I have my ass needed pain medicine or my ass needed blood pressure medicine and stuff like that. But a day in my life is very casual. I try not to exert that much energy. I try not to. I'm not saying I don't. I'm human. I'm in the sorority, so I'll dance. I do all that good stuff, but I pay for it later. What was your initial response to your diagnoses? So the only 2 diagnoses that I got in adulthood was my depression and my diverticulitis. But I'll tell you something about my kidney stone. So when I was diagnosed with depression, I kind of already knew. I was going through I was suicidal. So I knew I was depressed. I was just tired of being in pain. I was tired of living in pain. I was tired of people putting me through pain. I was just tired. So when they diagnosed me with that, I was just like, I already knew that. And then for my diverticulitis, I cried. I was like, what does this mean? Am I gonna die? I was scared. I didn't know what it meant. Now with my kidney stones, I knew I had kidney stones, things like that. I more so got scared when surgery got put on the board. But we will talk. I have a question about that, so we will talk about that when that question comes up. But my initial response for the depression was I already kind of knew. Diverticulitis, I was scared and worried, and my kidney stones, I was just numb. I was numb just because of what was being said to me. Has this prevented you from living out your dreams? Yes and no. In my earlier years, like earlier 20s, I was very invincible. So I was doing stuff and living life and like, oh, I'm hurting the next day, but whatever. Like, I just didn't care. Now I'm getting older and I actually want to be older. Like, I want to live a full life. I'm very hesitant about certain stuff and just cautious to how if I do this, it will play this type of role on me. So I'm very inquisitive when I go to the doctor, just like, hey, I want to do this. Is this okay? And things like that. So it's a yes and no question. It really just depends on how you look at it. Because one of my dreams is to live. So I am living. Have you always felt you have a support system? From my family, yes. From my friends, not so much. I was actually talking to one of my friends who sent me a question, and she didn't send it wasn't a question, she made a statement. And she said she has thought about and recognized that it has to feel, you have to feel some type of anger and hurt and isolation from society. And she's right. She's right. Because I've been deemed flaky, people won't ask me to go out with them. Or because they automatically assume I'm sick. They haven't talked to me. They haven't texted me. They haven't anything. But because I was sick the last time we talked, they assume I'm sick today. They won't invite me. Or they'll make statements. And I'm not the flaky friend at the point of where I won't call you. I'll call you and say, hey, today is I'm not gonna make it. Like, I won't do that. I won't just not show up. So sometimes you get isolated in that manner. Or they'll make their jokes. You know, Angel just want to be invited. She ain't gonna really come. Or I come and I have a really great time, and then I don't hear nothing then. But it's when I'm trying to live that it's the issue. So, and again, I know the difference between a friend and an associate. So, yeah. But sometimes it's very isolating. And, you know, you live and you learn and you grow. I got asked, when were you diagnosed again and how did you cope? And are you scared about surgery? I am petrified about surgery. I'm having surgery again in May, and my surgeries in 2015 were not the greatest experience. I have I don't know what you call, I guess you call it an allergy. I have a very rare allergy called malignant hypothermia. And while I was in surgery the first time in 2015, they were not monitoring. It basically means I'm allergic to anesthesia. They were not monitoring the machines, and my left lung collapsed during surgery. They could not finish the surgery on my kidney stones. They had to come out. I was in the ICU for a few days, and when I did wake up, they had to put a chest tube in through to my two ribs here. I have keloid skin, so I have a very large keloid here from where they put it in. Probably the most pain I've ever been in my life. The most painful thing I've ever experienced in my life was getting a chest tube. They cannot numb it. They numb the skin so that they can cut it, but when they can't numb that. So I literally, it felt like my ribs were being ripped apart and broken. The most painful thing I've ever experienced in my life. After that surgery, they waited a week, and then I went back into surgery again. I had a total of 14 surgeries in 2015 to remove kidney stones and things like that, and it's traumatic, and I don't think people think about how that puts people mentally. Like, I spent months in the hospital, so that's months of not accurate sleep, like hospital food. You got nurses in and out your room, all these different people probing over your body. I had more people see me naked in a week than I've had in my life. So surgery is very, very, very traumatizing for me, but I know it's needed. So yeah. So to answer the question, I'm not scared as far as will they be able to do their job. I know wholeheartedly I am covered by my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and the job will be done. The trauma is going to always be there. Okay. What is the prognosis for chronic illness? It varies on what your diagnosis is. Every chronic illness has a different prognosis. It's so many different kinds. So, it just depends on what it is. There's job recommendations for people with chronic illness, whatever your heart desires. Chronic illness does not stop you from anything whatsoever. I'm lying. It stops you. Let me set that straight. I am fibbing. It does stop you in some, but you're capable of doing any job. I know people with chronic illness who are firefighters, who are police officers, who are doctors and nurses. And then I know some people with chronic illness who are bound to the bed. It really depends on you and with your body. But I feel like if that's what you want to go do it. Get out there, bruh. Get out there, sis. How do you think your chronic illness has affected close friends and family? Family, I feel like it brought my family closer together. Because at the time I got as sick as I did and had to go to the hospital and have emergency surgery and things like that, my family did not know how bad it had gotten for me. So I feel like it had made us closer. And friends, it showed me who my true friends are. And it showed me what friendship is. Like, I had one of my closest sorority sisters. She was living with me at a point when I had surgeries, and she was, or let me not say living with me, we were roommates, but she literally was cleaning like my wounds for me every night, and like she was like an in-home nurse. So she really she's not vocal about her feelings towards people. She's an action, she's a doer type person, and it gave me a visual of what her love was, if that makes sense. So I know that it affects my friends that consider me their family, because I get those text messages, those phone calls, I'm praying for you, are you okay? Things like that. So I know that it affects them. But we don't, like I said previously, me and my friends and family don't sit down and discuss my illness. Because when I'm with you, I want to enjoy the time with you. I don't want to think about what could possibly be considered negative. Do you feel like your illness gets in the way? Sometimes, because sometimes I really do want to go out. Sometimes I really do want to have fun. I want to enjoy life. And sometimes I can't. So unfortunately, sometimes my illness does get in the way. And this is the last question, and I think this is a great question to end the video with. What is something you wish people understood more about chronic illness? Something I wish people understood more about chronic illness would probably be we are human too. We human too. We have feelings. We are emotional. We want to be involved. We want to feel love. We want to feel appreciated. And that sometimes we cannot give what we're getting, if that makes sense. So yeah, you may text and check on me all the time or every day, and I'm praying for you, and you like, dang, she don't never text first. But you just don't know how your texting me every day might be the text message that's waking me up, or the text message that I'm looking forward to keep me motivated, because that means somebody in this world cares. Now that's not my testimony. That's my angel story. But I'm just saying in general, I know when I was in the hospital, very small story. I had a soror, Tan. She does not do hospitals, nothing like that. Tan took me to doctor's visits, and Tan took me to my first surgery because John was dealing with a personal family issue. And Tan stayed there until my mother was able to get there. She made the phone calls to my family that I don't think any individual ever wants to have to make. And she played the true part of my sister when I needed her to be my sister. So, you know, everybody, those friends were like, I'm loyal and I'm there and I'm there, I'm there. That's awesome until I really need you there. And then you really get to see what's the truth. See what's can you stick this out with me, Sue? Are you gonna be there, bro? So, yeah. This video was vulnerability at its finest. And y'all had some questions for me that I'm shocked. So I'm gonna have to make some phone calls and send some text messages tonight. Like, let's have these conversations, because these are questions that came from people I love, people I trust, these came from my friends, my family. So this just shows me it's time to have some conversations that I haven't been having, that I feel like some people deserve. Hopefully I answered all the questions. I answered all the questions that were given to me. But hopefully I was able to answer questions for y'all and give some kind of insight to somebody that may be living with chronic illness, or know somebody living with chronic illness but not wanting to ask them questions, because as y'all see, this is vulnerability. People are so quick to judge these days. People will look at you and be like, oh, she looks fine. She just did it. You have no idea. And we have to do better as society to stop assuming things. Don't assume, just ask. And if you're not comfortable asking, let people be. Let people live their lives, because they're the only ones that can do it. You can have all your suggestions for them, but they are the only people living that life. But if there was a question that you had that I was not able to answer, you can private DM me on Instagram. I have realized that I have followers on here, hey y'all, that won't leave comments in my comment box down below, but will DM me on Instagram, and I'm so fine with that. But if you have questions, whether you want to ask down below, or if you want to ask over there in my Instagram, wherever you want to ask, I have no problem answering your questions. So please, if you have any questions about chronic illness, drop it down below. But I'm going to end this video because y'all have made me cry and emotional, and it's lunchtime and I have to eat 3 meals a day, or I'm going to be right here throwing up somewhere and ain't nobody here. It's just me. So, make sure that y'all subscribe, like, comment, turn that notification bell on so y'all do not miss a thing. Please, 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 if you like what you see, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. And if you don't know how to subscribe, my face is over there. And if you haven't seen my last video, it's down there. I hope y'all have a really good day. Be safe. Bye.